Maximizing your employer benefits may save you thousands of dollars during the year. In this episode of the Money Mastery Unleashed podcast, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to know so that you can take advantage of what benefits are offered through your employer. Hey, I'm Adam Olson, and I've been a CFP with Mutual of Omaha for over a decade. And in today's episodes, I'm going to help you understand and maximize what employer benefits are offered to you and how you can utilize them. Once you're finished with this episode, you'll have the exact understanding of what you need to look for during your open enrollment period at work. So let's start off by talking about what exactly is open enrollment. Well, open enrollment at your employer is a time when you can change your benefits and you lock them in for the next year. So think about your health insurance, your life insurance, disability insurance, retirement plan, and many more things that you can utilize of changing at this time. Now, I want you to think about this. I've done this in past episodes and I've talked about it quite a bit. I want you to understand that you only need to insure what you cannot afford. So if you can afford things inside of your financial life like short-term disability, say if you're out of work for 3 months or 6 months and you have an emergency fund established that's 9 months worth of your living expenses, you don't need short-term disability insurance. In addition to that, a lot of times if you're able to have enough in emergency savings, you don't need accident plans and those type of things as well. So work with your advisor on specifics to decide what you need and what you don't need from your employer insurance. The last thing that you need is a bunch of insurance premiums that aren't allowing you to save what you need to for your future retirement. Now, this typical open enrollment period is usually during the fourth quarter that you're locking employer benefits for next year. So make sure you're paying attention to what your employer is putting out there. Usually you'll get like a website that you log into, or maybe a hard copy or even a PDF copy of what's available to you. So it's very important when you get this that you look at what benefits you're offered, and if your spouse has employer benefits, what benefits that your spouse is offered. A lot of times I see people who have always done health insurance through the one spouse's work because it's the best thing. Well, when we sit down and we actually look at it, we find that that's not the case at all. So make sure each and every year you're looking at what benefits are offered through whose employer and which one is best for you in your situation for your family. Things do change year over year, so make sure you're comparing them every single year. Let's start. The first thing I want to talk about is health insurance. So there's all types of health insurance plans out there: HMOs, PPOs, EPOs, HDHP plans. Well, all of these are just acronyms on what type of health insurance plan that you're looking at. Here's what you need to know. Who takes the plan? Do your doctors accept the plan? Who's in network for you and who's out of network? Now, who's in network is typically going to have lower cost for in-network providers. Out of networks might have no coverage or higher cost for you. So make sure you're looking every year to see who is in network for the plan that you're selecting. That can have a huge impact on the out-of-pocket cost that you're going to have for your health insurance. You also need to take into account what the cost is for you, what the deductibles are, and what copays and coinsurances are. Now, if these things are foreign concepts to you, I'll link a separate episode that I did about employer benefits that digs into these a little bit more for you to check out. Just know, when you're looking at these health insurance plans, I like people to look at the maximum out of pocket. That is the most that you will pay in a given year for your healthcare cost. Plan the out-of-pocket cost, cover that through your emergency savings account, and you'll be just fine. In addition to that, you need to look at this every single year with your family on what planned expenses do we have. Are we going to have a baby the next year? Do we need to have a surgery the next year? What medical expenses are we planning for? If you don't have any medical expenses and you're completely healthy, maybe we take a high deductible health plan. If you're having a kid next year, maybe we take a low deductible health plan. What I'm saying is, don't just blindly click through the email when you get it to enroll, because you could be missing potential savings if you're not selecting the right plan. So think about what plan you're selecting, find out who's in network with the plan, and make sure you're evaluating both spouses' benefits. In addition to that, if you do get a high deductible health plan, you will get access to what's called an HSA. This is a huge benefit that I want to talk about now. The next thing that you're probably going to look at enrolling in is an HSA health savings account and a flexible spending account. In addition to that, if you have kids in daycare, hopefully your employer offers a dependent care account where you can put pre-tax dollars in to help pay for daycare. So an HSA, an FSA, and a dependent care account. These are essentially accounts that allow you to pay for certain medical expenses and childcare costs through payroll deduction. That's a pre-tax benefit to you, and you get to use those dollars to pay for those expenses. So let's first off talk about what an HSA is. An HSA is a health savings account. And what's really powerful about an HSA is dollars go into an HSA on a pre-tax basis. If you invest them, they grow tax-free. And as long as you take them out for qualified expenses, they come out tax-free. It's a triple tax benefit. An HSA is a huge advantage if you have access to it that you can use for tax-free income in retirement time. In addition to that, HSA dollars roll over from year to year to year. Now, an FSA, on the other hand, a flex spending account, this is a use it or a lose it benefit. Now, you may be able to carry over 20% of those FSA dollars every year, but just remember, an FSA is usually a use it or lose it benefit. Now, how much can you put into these things? Well, health savings account in 2025. So in 2025, you can contribute up to $4,300 if you're single. And also, if you have a family, you can put in $8,550 into an HSA for 2025. So that's $8,550 if you are a family on a high deductible health plan that you can put pre-tax into an HSA. Now, the FSA contribution limits are way lower than that. In 2024, you can put in $3,200. In 2025, that'll probably be another couple $100 higher. And remember, you may be able to carry over 20% of your HSA. Now, I did say that the HSA is triple tax benefit. So if you don't need those dollars today to pay for medical bills, I would highly suggest that you look at investing those HSA dollars and saving those for your future retirement. That is a huge benefit that you could utilize for tax-free income at retirement time. So don't miss out on taking advantage of that HSA if you have access to it. I will add that there's household limits to this. So if your husband has a plan and the wife has a plan, there's one limit that you guys contribute for the FSA, HSA, and DCA. So make sure, again, you're coordinating benefits between spouses. Let's move on here and talk about dental and vision coverage. Now, I do want you to understand that employer-provided dental and vision coverage is a lot of times less expensive than if you were to get it on your own. So when you're looking at dental and vision coverage, a lot of times for most people, I think it's a no-brainer to take that through your employer group. You're going to have the cost anyway. You might as well let insurance foot some of the bill. I do need to add, though, that a lot of times different plans have different levels of dental and vision insurance. So make sure you're selecting the important level of coverage for yourself, and make sure that you're also selecting the best plan that's going to fit in network with the dentist that you want to go to. We can't end this without talking about retirement planning. So every single year during open enrollment, you should have the time to adjust how much you're putting into your 401k or your 403b or your retirement plan. And again, every year you should make sure that you're taking full advantage of your employer match first and foremost, but then don't forget, it's a good idea to increase those contributions each and every year till you're saving at least 20 to 25% of your income inside of your retirement plan. And if you've maxed out that retirement plan, look at outside investment options to continue to save for your future retirement. And I can't stress this to you enough. A lot of people, I believe, should be using Roth investments inside of their 401k plan to set them up for a tax-free retirement. In addition to that, it's a great time when you're doing annual open enrollment to make sure that your beneficiaries are right on your 401k plan, and make sure that you're cleaning up any other old 401k plans that you have, maybe consolidating those things together. Great time to do it is during open enrollment. And just please make sure that you're reviewing the investments inside of your 401k plan at least once a year with the advisor or the rep on file for you to make sure that they're up to date for you. Now let's hit on this one. This is one that I think you guys should really be taking advantage of. Life and disability insurance. So most employers will offer some form of term life insurance and some form of disability insurance. Now, I'm going to say here that if you are healthy and you're in perfect health, it may make sense for you to look at an outside carrier to compare that cost to your employer's life insurance cost. I think what you may find is that if you're healthy, an outside company may be more competitive, and you may be able to get more coverage for the same premium dollars. So make sure when open enrollment times rolls around, you're getting with the advisor that you work with, check out those term life premiums at work versus an individual company, and take the most competitive one for you. A lot of times what your employer allows you to get, maybe $200,000, maybe $500,000 in coverage, that might not be enough for you if you have a family. So get with your advisor and evaluate these benefits. Compare your work plan cost to an individual plan cost on your term life insurance. Disability insurance, if that's offered through the employer, usually those are extremely competitive policies, and those are ones that I love clients to take. However, if you're a high income earner, you might not have enough coverage through your employer disability plan. So employer disability plans will sometimes have a cap on how much they're going to pay per month. So say I'm working for an employer and my cap is $5,000 a month in benefits that I can get. Well, if my income is $20,000 a month, for example, I'm not going to like my disability insurance payment if I'm only getting $5 when I become disabled. So make sure, again, get with your advisor. Make sure that you have adequate long-term disability coverage through work. That's the most essential one. The short-term disability insurance, if you don't have an emergency savings account, or if you're planning on having a child, girls, that might be a good option for you to consider. If not, make sure you get that disability long-term and make sure that you have enough to cover your living expenses if something were to happen. Do an analysis every year of your employer disability provided coverage and see if you need to get outside coverage to supplement that plan. In addition to that, if the employer pays for the disability coverage, this is important. If your employer pays for the disability coverage, the benefits that you get are going to be taxable, so you need to take that into account. If you pay for disability insurance on your own, whether through payroll deduction or whether through an individual plan, those benefits are tax-free. So make sure you're getting with your advisor to evaluate your disability needs each and every year. Now, some employers offer additional benefits like accident insurance, critical illness insurance, those type of things. As long as you have your emergency savings plan set up, proper life insurance, proper disability insurance, proper health insurance, I don't really see a need for most people to get those type of coverages. So make sure you're working with an advisor, evaluate your individual situation. On top of that, other employers may offer employee assistance programs, wellness programs, commuter benefits, tuition reimbursement, and professional development. So make sure you're reading through the fine details of what your employer offers and take advantage of what they're giving you. Ask your employer if they offer any of these other additional benefits and look into it to see if you can't take advantage of it. So here's some successful tips for you that I want you to take away and use during open enrollment this year. Number 1, review your current benefits and identify any changes that you need. Make sure you're looking at your plan and your spouse's plan. The next one, gather all the necessary information and documentation that you need from both plans. So get all of the summary of benefits. Gather those things together because your advisor is going to want to look at them. Understand the basic benefits and the terminology that go along with them. So look into doctors. Make sure people are in network that you want to see based upon the health insurance that you select and the dental and vision that you select. And then you need to take special care and make sure you're looking at spousal benefits. Also, when it comes to life insurance and disability insurance, look at outside companies to see if you can get a price competitive bid. That may save you money and allow you to get more coverage for your life insurance and disability insurance needs. And again, I always stress to you guys, it's always great to have somebody, a third party, check these things over to make sure that you're making the right decisions. So I hope this video was beneficial to you today. I talked to you about health insurance, disability insurance, life insurance, dental and vision insurance, HSAs, FSAs, so on and so forth. Make sure you're taking advantage of the pre-tax benefits that your employers offers, and you may find that that saves you thousands of dollars each and every year, but you can only make these changes during open enrollment. Now, if you need help for you and your spouse to decide what you should be doing as far as these benefits go, I'd encourage you to book a call with me. If you look down in the link below, you'll find all of my information. We can go out and schedule a meeting with me or another Mutual of Omaha advisor. We'd love to walk through the benefits that you have available to you and show you potential tax savings, deductible savings, and or premium savings that we can find for you during open enrollment. So I hope you loved this video. If you did, like it, share it, and leave me a comment. Look forward to talking to you guys more about how we can save you money and help you plan for a great retirement. This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and or tax implications. It's not to be construed as legal or tax advice. Such information or opinions is subject to change without notice and is not intended to use as an offer or solicitation with respect to the purchase or sale of any security, insurance products, or offer of individual investment advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Riser Insurance is not affiliated with Mutual of Omaha Investor Services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protection lost against loss in a declining market. Purchase of life insurance is subject to meeting underwriting requirements. There is no guarantee of an individual will be insured. Annuities are long-term investments designed for retirement purposes. Withdrawals of taxable amounts are subject to income tax, and if taken prior to 59 and a half, a 10% federal penalty tax may apply. Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuer and are subject to their terms and conditions.